Ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, tropicals, welcome to Pod Tiki. My name is Tony, and this episode of How to Make, we're doing the Isla del Piña, which is a original cocktail by Miss Shannon Mustipher, who we were lucky enough to have on the podcast for this episode, all about rum and tiki and her coming up and different, we talked a lot about rums. And we talked about the Isla del Piña a little bit. I talked all about the ingredients and my little snafus with trying to find the right passion fruit mixes and things like that. And we talk all about that in the episode, so I'm not going to go into that too much here. I also have a supplemental episode that's more of my standard that goes along and talks about the actual drink. But the actual episode, the real episode for this month is the Shannon Mustipher interview. Why did I just blank on the word interview? That's weird. So we're going to make that cocktail here today. It is a blended drink, and so we got my handy dandy Ninja right here. Not sponsored, but if you'd like to, you can sponsor me, Ninja. I'll take that. Yeah, so the ingredients for this cocktail, this is a great cocktail because it's summertime, but it's also classy. It's also elegant and refined. You know, Shannon has a background in prohibition, speakeasy style drinks before she got into tiki, and this really shows her ability, her craftiness, her elegance in that. So without further ado, we're going to make the Isla del Piña. We're going to use a aged white rum. Now, Shannon specifies she likes to use Diplomatico Planas. That's their white rum variety. I cannot get that in Nashville right now, but she did say that this is one of her other favorite white rums, the Real McCoy 3-year. So I chose to use this. I think the key to this is to use something with a nice fruity, creamy body like a Barbados, but not too funky like a Jamaican. If you like funk, I'm sure that would look great in here, but that's not the way she makes it. I think the idea here is just a nice Caribbean, full-bodied but light, crisp rum, and this is a great one. This is probably my new favorite thing closest to the Havana Club Habanos that I love so much. The next thing we're going to do is use some allspice dram. You guys know about that. Allspice is the dried pimento berry found in Jamaica and other places around the Caribbean. It's not the little thing that goes inside your green olive. That's a different pimento. But this is like a holiday spice, like a nutmeg or like allspice as it is. Ironically, for a holiday flavor, it's found in the Caribbean, which it still has holidays. I don't know why that's ironic, but you think about warm climates, you don't think about the holidays. Now, we're going to use a pineapple liqueur. I love this cocktail because it doesn't use any added sugar. The liqueur is the only sugar and a little bit of the fruit juice, and it works out. A liqueur is pretty much just a spirit with other spices and added sugar, like an after-dinner sipper or something like that. This is Gifford's Caribbean Pineapple. I love it because it's not fake. It smells like real pineapple. It tastes like real pineapple too. It doesn't have that weird candy, artificial flavor to it. It's great. Really strong pineapple flavor. And we're going to use some fresh squeezed lime juice. And the last thing we're going to do is passion fruit puree. Now, I tried to cut up some whole passion fruit and separate the seeds and get all that, put a little bit of water in there to get everything separated. And I made the drink like that. And I realized, just like when you're using fresh herbs versus dried herbs, you got to adjust the proportions for the difference in potency. And I did not do that. And I used a full half ounce of puree like she suggests. And it made the drink pretty much just a passion fruit cocktail. It was just a passion fruit daiquiri at that point. It overtook every other flavor. One of the things that not only Shannon suggests, but Beach Bum Berry also suggests using this for his passion fruit syrup are these cool little passion fruit chunks, frozen chunks. They're like little tiny squares. They're all pretty uniform, so they're pretty easy to deal with. And you can either melt them down and use them for a syrup and put them into a syrup, or I can, since this is a blended cocktail, I just leave them frozen. They're 100%, this brand is, what does it say? Pitaya Foods. This is pretty much the one I see everybody using because it's 100% organic passion fruit. You're not getting any other things in there, so it's just as good as using the fresh with a lot less of the hassle. And I just like to leave them frozen, and I've done a lot of back and forth on how many cubes to use, and I've fallen on the fact that 3 cubes is the perfect amount to get not too much passion fruit, but still enough to make the cocktail taste good. And I think Shannon would approve. She gave me the go-ahead to experiment with my liking a little bit. One of the things that she said, and you guys know how I'm a stickler for for tradition. I'm a stickler for having things be the way that the person who created them meant them to be. But she did tell me that either the fresh or the frozen, she uses both. So I use the frozen, and I adjusted it to how I like it, a little just nice and balanced, the way that I think she would serve it. And you can go an extra cube if you like more passion fruit, but I find that if you melt this down and you let this thaw out, it equals just under about a half ounce. So that's the measurement I'm going for, is 3 of the frozen passion fruit puree cubes. Passion fruit puree, it's hard to say that. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take 2 ounces of rum, real McCoy aged white rum. It smells so good. It's got almost like a bread and buttery kind of Chardonnay flavor to it, scent to it rather. We're going to do 2 ounces of that. I really should get some pour spouts, so I'm not doing this all crazy, and I'm not making a mess over my wife's kitchen table. So then we're going to do a half ounce of the pineapple liqueur, half ounce of that, bam, 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 as I'm dripping all over the place over here. See what I said? Yeah. Just like any home bartender, it ends up being a mess sometimes more than it's worth. But that, we're going to take a half ounce of the lime juice, fresh squeezed of course. You don't want to mess up all these great ingredients with some artificially flavored store-bought sour mixed stuff. Don't do that. We're going to do a 1/4 ounce of your pimento dram or your allspice liqueur. Same thing, 1/4 ounce of that. Well, that's a little bit too much. You should never do that. You should never pour liquor back into the bottle. That was a dummy mistake I just made. But this is almost out. That was like the last ounce of it, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm throwing things all over the place. We're going to throw in our 3 cubes of our passion fruit puree. You can kind of see what they look like. They're like little tiny little cubes of passion fruit. So delicious, muy delicioso. So we're going to drop that in there. And with about 4 ounces of ice that I actually remembered to bring this time. So we're going to do that. 4 ounces of ice. Let me see, that all come out of there? Nope. That didn't work. Why did I think that was going to work? This is just an embarrassment. Look at this. Well, I'm not editing any of this out. This is all staying in. This is what you guys love about these, right? Because it's real. This is what happens when you're really making stuff around the kitchen. Things fly everywhere. You drop stuff. You spill stuff. That's what happens, right? We're going to put this all in the blender. We're going to blend this for about 5 seconds. Someone call it a flash blend. You go a little bit more to get some of the ice mix in there. It's not going to adjust it. It's not going to mess with the flavor of the drink too much. The reason why for flash blending so shortly like that is because it makes the little pieces of ice that stay in there form this nice little bubbly foam on top. The problem is you're going to fine strain it, which is going to kind of cut down on that anyway. I haven't really perfected that yet, but either way, we're going to do... 5 seconds on high like that. Okay, let me get this out of here. Now, like I said, you're going to fine strain it into a coupe glass. That there to drip and make a further mess over there. Bang. Oh, what am I, nervous today or something? Oh. Maybe I need a drink. I'm shaking too much. All right, we're going to fine strain that. Give it a second because it's got to go through all of the little pieces of leftover ice in there. Kind of tap that to get it through. I should have prepared a monologue or something for while I'm sitting here tapping this. I'm sure this is captivating video for you guys to watch right here. I'm sure. There you go. You know, if I was better at the video aspect of this, I would just edit this all out, but I feel like it's part of my charm, right? At least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. Now you have here a nice golden, almost honey-colored cocktail. Take a sip. Yep. See, the pineapple liqueur adds a rich, like almost caramelly, not a caramelly flavor, but a caramelly nuance to it. It's very elegant, it's very refined, it's more like a cocktail than you would think like a sour daiquiri. But then with the passion fruit, it brings that sour, and the lime juice, it brings that sour kind of summery vibe, fruity vibe back up. So you get like a nice balance of tart with also like rich, sweet, but elegant, kind of silky mouthfeel. Why did I just say that? Oh, I meant texture. I'm sorry. Don't ever say mouthfeel. That's disgusting. It's the texture of the drink. So, and it's really nice. This is one of those cocktails that offers a tertiary flavor. The ingredients are greater, or the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It makes a new, the flavors come together to make something new that doesn't taste like any of the individual ingredients. You can taste the rum in there. You can taste a little bit of the allspice and the fruit and the liqueur. It's just, everything just comes together so nicely. What else can I say? What I can say is thank you so much to Shannon Mustipher for coming on the show and talking with us. I definitely hope that we get to talk with her again. And I hope that I get to sit down with you, Shannon, and have a cocktail and a Mai Tai sometime. Maybe I can talk you into making me one. Maybe I can talk you into making me one of these if I ever see you in town. So, with that note, I want to thank you guys for listening. You can always check out the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and always at podtiki.com. You can follow us on Instagram, is where I do most of my social media. That's pod_tiki. You can follow my personal page at rum_poet. We're also on Facebook, and just search Pod Tiki, you'll find it. We're on YouTube as well, which is where this is going to be posted eventually. And you can also find episodes of Inside the Mug, which is my YouTube-only video show. And that usually runs about a half hour of me just talking about the episodes, stuff that I didn't get to put in there. And if I don't have anything else to say about the episode, it ends up being just me sitting on the back porch with a cocktail or a cigar and just BSing with you guys, having a conversation with you like you're actually talking back to me, but you're not. So it's maybe I'm a crazy person, I don't know. You can also go, if you find in your heart of hearts that you like what I do and you want to support the podcast to keep the bar neon lights on, then we have a Patreon. We have a Patreon. If you search Pod Tiki Podcast at patreon.com, it's only $3 a month. That's a basic support. I got some more stuff coming out. I promise I'm going to give some giveaways. I'm going to do some merch. I'm going to do maybe some Patreon-only content. But all of that is coming. And the reason why I haven't gotten that up and running yet, as far as like the rewards and stuff, is because I was working really hard on the Summer Sessions EP just released last month. It's still available at podtiki.com. If you go to podtiki.com, you click the Summer Sessions Volume 1 little tab there, and you will be able to listen to the 4-track EP from Pod Tiki. This song's written and performed by myself with some great guys from the band and my wife doing all the production, and a great group of people that helped put that together. I'm really proud of it. And I believe that is it. So keep it tiki out there. I'm going to confer on the back porch with my cocktail. It's a beautiful Saturday, sunny day here in Nashville, so salud. Wow. I can't believe I remembered to bring all the ingredients out for me this time. I didn't have to